Hey there, how are you? My name is Jorge Daniel and I want to welcome you to this Power Platform Essentials video series. This is the fifth video on this series that will take you through the works on Power Platform. In the last video, we discussed Dataverse tables and created a custom table called Expense. In this video, we'll go through the different types of columns available in Dataverse as we start to build a solution. Let's start by going into our table and to columns. As we've seen in the previous video, a newly created table comes with standard columns that are created for us. To filter out the custom columns, you can use your publisher prefix, like this. So far, we got a unique ID column and the primary column. Click on New Column and the side panel opens up. You will need to provide a name for the column, but we'll get to that. Let's see about data types and start with text columns. Plain text is a single line of text, while text area will allow for a text box and multiple lines. Rich text will allow for HTML formatting, like making the font bold or give it a color. Next, we have a few types that give some extra functionality. Email will allow you to click in its icon and open your email client. Phone number will bring out your calling system. It can be Teams in a desktop, but you can also leverage this in your mobile phone. URL will navigate to the website. Below multiple lines of text, you can choose from plain text and rich text. What this will let you do is increase the max length of the column. With text area, you can go as far as 4,000 characters. But if you go to multiple lines of text, you can go above 1 million. And that allows you to write a book in it. Moving on, we have numbers. The first option with numbers is whole number. And then you have decimal and float. Decimal is a more precise number and you can go as far as 10 decimals. Float is a less precise number, but it will allow you for more decimal depth. I usually use decimal. Language code and time zone are numbers representing those properties, while duration is defined in minutes, but it will render as a drop-down showing you values in intervals of time. When it comes to date and time, things can get a bit complex, so let's try and make them simple. First, do you need the time portion? If so, take a look at advanced options and you can decide between user local or time zone independent. User local will adapt to the user's time zone. This is great for stuff like meetings. If you don't need the time part, set the format to date only and you will see free time zone options. Nowadays, I use time zone independent. Next, we have the lookup column. The lookup is a relationship column between two tables. There is also the customer lookup, which is special in the way that it allows you to select a record from the account or the contact table. And then comes choice. These are rendered as drop-downs. You have choice and you have yes, no choice. Why two types? Yes, no columns don't allow for none, so they always have a value. With choice, you can have a yes, no, or none choice. Also with choice, should you need to create one, you can make it global, a choice that can be used in multiple tables, or local, choosing no, a choice that can only be used in this table. When in doubt, make it global. Moving on, not much to say about currency, but when it comes to auto number, this can be really useful for creating an ID, as its value gets set automatically and in a format you can define in a mix of text and numbers. Then there's file, and it can be a file or an image. File will accept Word, PDF, JPEG, and pretty much anything apart from restricted file types. Image will only accept images. And finally, you have the formula column, which allows you to use PowerFX. Still needs to evolve, but it's great that we can leverage PowerFX in this column. Let's now create a few columns and see this in action. Let's start with a text area, so we can give a description of the expense we are submitting. So text area, and maybe 1000 characters should be enough. And save. Let's give it a moment. And it's done. Yes. Another one for the date. And we don't need the time, date only. And let's set it as time zone independent. Another column, and this will be a lookup because we want to tie expenses, at least optionally, to accounts. And then here we can decide on the related table and save it. This is creating the relationship in Backstage also. And a column for the amount, and this will be currency. One thing, you can set the columns as business required or business recommended, apart from optional. The main difference between these two is that required, you won't be allowed to save the record unless there's a value there, while recommended will bring that to your attention, but it will let you save the record anyway. Let's put this one as required, and also the date should be required. One thing we can do is change some of the properties after creating the column. So let's set this one as required as well. And finally, let's create an ID column, which will be auto number. And let's make this one pretty simple. So maybe 10 digits and starting with 1. You have a preview here to see how it will look once they get created. And this one we'll leave as optional because the system will take care of setting this value. And save. So this was fun, right? Next time we'll expand this a bit further as we start to envision a working solution. I hope you enjoyed this one and I hope to see you soon. Bye!